everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon, and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and what I do with this channel is I use my real-life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to grow up in a home where one of your parents is a narcissist, specifically a covert narcissist. Narcissism is a destructive disorder. It's a mental illness that has devastating effects on the people in relationships with them. Children are vulnerable and completely dependent on their parents. So when one or both parents are narcissistic, the child is put in a toxic and devastating situation. When a child is raised by a narcissistic parent, and if they have two narcissistic parents, I just want to say, that child is living in hell. There's no other reality for that child. Narcissists only care about themselves. They are the best. Nobody else is close to as good as the narcissist. And they let the child know. The child is not going to escape the reality that they're not number one. And I'm not saying that children should be put up on a pedestal, but they're supposed to be cared for above the parents' needs. If it came down to it, and of course this is some overly dramatic situation, but if you only had enough food for one person, you're going to let your child eat. That's not going to be hard for you to do. A narcissist isn't like that. They wouldn't take a bullet for their child. They're number one, always. So they're not taking care of the child the way the child needs to be taken care of. For a narcissist, only they matter. Narcissists are people without a conscience. They don't feel guilt. They don't feel love. They don't feel empathy. They don't feel nurturing to a child. That is devastating to a child. A child needs their parent, right? Obviously. A narcissist isn't going to be there. Now, when it comes to covert narcissists, they're going to be a little bit different than an overt narcissist. Both a covert and an overt narcissist look at themselves first. They don't have a conscience. Everything's about them. But an overt narcissist is more in your face about it. Covert narcissists, as their name implies, keep it secret. Overt narcissists, they're the type of parents that are going to tell the child that they're better than them. I'm better than you. You're never going to be as successful as me. You're never going to have the things that I have. You're never going to have as nice a house, as nice a car, as much money, that type of thing. That's how my husband grew up. His father is an overt narcissist. He grew up to be a covert narcissist. So for my husband, compared to his father on the surface, and everything is on the surface with a covert narcissist, he seems like a better father because he doesn't say that to my kids. He does let them know when he does any sacrifice at all. Like if he leaves work early to go to a baseball game, he would say to my son, "Oh, I had to leave work early. It was hard for me to leave work early. I had to miss a meeting, and they really need me at work, but I came here to see you play." He wasn't horrible about it, but he would say stuff like that. So they do have to get that little dig in, let everybody know how wonderful they are. But they're not overtly abusive when their narcissism is lying dormant. That's the crucial thing to understand. This is what this video is really about. If a covert narcissism doesn't lie dormant, if it's not hidden, if it comes to the surface, and it can, understand if you are in a relationship with a covert narcissist, you control that relationship. You are solid ground for the narcissist to stand on, but you are standing on a bubble. Any extra pressure in that narcissist can collapse spectacularly. This has happened to my husband. He has no ability to keep his narcissism under wraps anymore. Largely, and I don't want the video to be too long because I want to make this more about children, just briefly. Largely, that is because I do not protect him anymore. I don't cover up for him. I'm a recovering codependent, and I don't smooth everything over for him. He's been horrifically abusive financially and emotionally to me and my kids. So I don't cover for him anymore, and he can't keep his narcissism under wraps. What that has meant for my children is that they don't have a father anymore. So it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. It's one way, one day. If the narcissist is not given exactly what they need in the right dosages, they can and will collapse. They don't have any inner strength. So somebody is trying to be a parent to a child that can't even take care of themselves. They're going to cause horrific pain to the child. And if both parents are narcissists, I don't even know if the child could survive that. Oftentimes, one of the parents is there. So that's the case with my kids. They have one parent. I spoke to my pastor probably about a year ago at this point, and he brought to my attention, he said, "You've always been a single parent. You've always been a single mother." And that hit me so strong to be, to not know. My son is 14, my daughter 17. For the majority of their lives, I didn't know this. It sounds crazy, but this is what it's like to be with a narcissist, to be with somebody mentally ill. There's no reality for you. You're living in a false world, and you don't understand, you don't know. And it's devastating because, on one hand, you are devastated. The person you thought you were with doesn't exist. So you're trying to deal with that. It's crushing and you feel guilty. How could you not know? And you feel powerless to protect your child. But you're also a victim and you feel isolated and alone. You aren't heard or seen, just like the child. You're fearful and unhappy, just like the child. When a parent is a narcissist and their narcissism is on display, when they're a covert narcissist especially, they will just take themselves out of the child's life. They won't be there anymore. My husband hasn't seen our kids for 5 months. It's October. He hasn't seen them since May. Covert narcissists, just like all narcissists, they don't put their children first. The child doesn't matter. So they're able to do outrageous things. It would be unheard of. It's unspeakable to think about a loving parent abandoning their child. This is what a covert narcissist does, and it leaves devastating effects. I have a 14-year-old son. He needs his father. I'm his father now. Now, I am under no impression that I can be a father. So my son is now lacking, even though he has a father. I've talked to his father. I've told him, your son needs you. He's upset. He's having trouble. My son was devastated in January. My husband came to the house. He was here. He was doing laundry. He's homeless now. He doesn't live at the house. He's not able to take care of himself. He is mentally collapsing. I let him come over. He's doing laundry. He was supposed to visit. This is at the very beginning when I was hopeful that he could pull himself together, get therapy, and become a functional person. This is before I recognized the reality of narcissism. My husband got mad at me. I can't even remember why he got mad at me. And he just stormed out of the house. He just left. He didn't say goodbye to the kids. He didn't do anything. He just took off. I called my husband later. He gets on the phone. What? I said, your son is really upset. He's crushed. You need to help me right now. Handle him. And he just hung up the phone. That's a narcissistic parent. No love, no concern, no care. My son has had a very difficult time losing his father. He is not there at all. He doesn't talk to his son. He doesn't email him. He ignored him on his birthday. For a narcissist, everything's about the narcissist. So I don't want my husband at the house because I'm afraid of him. I don't know what he's capable of. He has caused issues. He scared us. I don't want to get into too much. I do have it in other videos because I'm trying to make this more about the children. He scared us and I had to call the police. My kids witnessed this. My husband doesn't care. He doesn't think, oh my gosh, I'm being a horrible father. I need to make sure my kids are okay. No, he's thinking, I'm having a rough time. Everybody else can suffer. I don't care because I'm depressed. That's narcissism. You don't have a parent when you have a narcissist. My daughter recently turned 17, and that was the age where she's allowed to date now. And she broke my heart. She said to me, so I'm allowed to date now, right? And I said, oh, yes, you are. Is there somebody that you're interested in? And then she said, no, but you know what? I don't even know how a man's supposed to treat a woman. I'm not sure how to go about this. Daddy's never been very nice. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, all this is happening in my own home. And you're living in a different reality. You think the person is one way, and then all of a sudden you see who they really are. And the effects of that are devastating to everybody connected. My kids see everybody else have a good father. And I realize, and I've had to have very difficult conversations with my children because I've told them the truth about narcissism. They are older, but I was really struggling because I was getting some advice, and that people were telling me that, like my pastor, he said, well, you got to be careful. It is their father. You don't want to say too many bad things. But, my position on that is, I don't want to like slam him, but at the same time, I was tricked for so long, and we have narcissism in our family, and I don't want my kids to repeat the cycle. I'm trying to get us out of this terrible situation. I'm trying to be a mother and a father. I'm raising my kids alone. My husband is not there. He took off. He will blame me. If I say kids are struggling, well, I'll come home. That's his view. He doesn't look at it that he owes us anything. He doesn't owe us sanity. He doesn't owe us, health. Nothing matters. It's just, well, I'll come home then, as if his physical presence is going to do anything but upset us. He needs to be there emotionally, physically, and financially, not just one of the three. He can't just be there. His physical presence, that does nothing. It upsets us. He doesn't care. So, my pastor's like, well, you got to be very sensitive. You don't want to bash their father. So, I tried to be careful with that. But at the same time, I didn't want to protect him. I didn't want to say to the kids, oh, well, yeah, daddy loves you so much. He just can't be here right now. I told them the truth. He's a narcissist. He's mentally ill. He doesn't have the ability to love anybody, because I know I know that there's like different views on that. I just felt very strongly that I didn't want him tricked. I didn't want them tricked. I didn't want to lie for him and have them be under some false belief so that he could one day waltz back into their life and they'll think that poor daddy, he had a rough time. No, I want them to know he did this himself. This was all him. He's put our family in turmoil. My son is dealing with depression now because of his father. My daughter is insecure because of her father. I'm suddenly a single mother, and I realized I've been a single mother for a long time, but I wasn't aware of it. Now I'm so aware of it, and our family is like this third wheel. We're very connected to a church community, and everybody's so nice. Like, nobody's treated me horribly, but I feel different. We're the ones without a father. We're the outsiders now. There's family things, and it's the three of us going. They do things at church or with their friends, and I'm always the one doing the driving. Other people have their fathers going. Kids are going out. I've had several of my son's friends do father-son things with their dads. My son doesn't get to do anything. He's just with a single mother. And, it's the most devastating thing. I just want people to understand the reality. I don't feel bad for myself. I want to be a strong person. I don't want to be a victim. But the reality is that my kids and I are victims of narcissistic abuse. And I wish I had a happy ending to sum this up. I wish I had advice to fix this pain. I wish I could say, but you know what? We're just going to do X, Y, Z, and we're going to ride off into the sunset. The reality is the only fix is starting over. The narcissist cannot be a part of somebody's family. If you're with a narcissist, the narcissism is either going to be on full display or lying dormant. If it's lying dormant, please understand what's happening to me can happen to you. I just kind of briefed over this, and in other videos I'll get into more depth, more specifically on each thing. The point of this video is that narcissism destroys children. It destroys families. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.